Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet, and I think I have backstage Rebecca here. Wait, let me see. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Hey, how you
how you
doing?
doing? Can you hear me properly?
Yes, I can hear you properly. Are you okay?
I'm in the safe room. Sorry if my looking at you angle is kind of weird. I'm gonna play with it a little bit.
How big is your safe room? Is it like, do you
Big
have enough
enough.
space there? That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
How is this
I,
whole thing in Israel? Maybe explain that for a second. You have safe rooms in regular homes, in regular residential places.
not every house has it. Like newer homes have it. Actually, I think it's from 2000 something that they had started regulating it. So, and there are safe rooms like scattered around and stuff like that, all in different conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
um, Actually, I kind of feel like I look funny festive. I was doing this, I was playing around with it, and then everything started, and I was like, no.
but everything, but everything is okay, right? On your part.
Yes, 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 yes. My mom, I think, was the only one that was really out, so she saw things in the sky and stuff. She ran like from place to place. She even entered some random home where
Uh-huh.
they had a safe room. They just like she knocked and they opened and they let her in. And now we have her employee here. She stays the night because she like instead of going back home to not to risk it.
That's good. That's good.
So
That's good.
she
I'm
came here.
glad everyone
My
is.
my dad got the best. He was in spinning class, and the spinning class was already in a safe room. So
Oh,
it's like, Dad, are you okay? Are you okay? Like, I'm just spinning here. I'm already in a safe room. Like, I have no idea.
but this is
Yeah.
lots of people don't know this, but this is how Israelis are supposed to. This is how Israelis live, right? This is because it is normalized that Israel is constantly under attack
I
by
actually,
terrorists. It's you have safe rooms, you have an Iron Dome system, and so on. We have red alerts all the time.
yeah, but I don't remember it being that intense, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, it's obviously not the first time, but I don't know. I feel like it was more intense than the usual, especially like in the sound department.
Oh yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
well, Iran just sent over.
Even though I got one something that was intercepted right over my head, that was really loud. But
Yeah, yeah. Imagine the situation if if you didn't have a proper system to intercept these missiles. What Iran sent over are huge ballistic missiles. One of them is quite big, and they can cause major damage and casualties. Um, I want to quickly also look at the news while we're doing this. There is apparently no casualties, so no deaths among Israelis reported as a result of these missiles. They sent over like 200 missiles, around 200 ballistic missiles. The only casualties that are reported are minor injuries, and one Palestinian Arab guy in Jericho has
yeah,
died. He was directly hit in the head by um,
that's the
shrapnel
worst.
of a ballistic missile, which is just so insanely idiotic. It's like this is their response. This is Iran's great punishment for Israel, where they send 200 missiles over, and the only people dying from this are Arabs who are supposedly being oppressed by Israel.
I mean, do you know how long we've been getting ready for that? Like, since forever?
Yeah,
Like, basically, since the revolution in Iran, to be honest, and even before that. Um, but yeah. Also, I mean, I had some smart things I wanted to say to everybody because, like, I'm gonna hop on my own channel later and talk more about geopolitics and things like that. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what we're fighting against. I mean, you know that like there is the Islamic aspect, but and terror groups, and it looks like a lot of people don't understand what terror groups are and what they do and what exactly it is that we're fighting against and what it means that you have societies that are built on pyramid schemes and that it's basically because people don't seem to grasp that it's like a mafia taking over our country. That's what it is. Like
hmm
the worst kind of like in the favelas, the worst kind of criminals getting taken over. That's who they are. They're just a bunch of criminals. They grow drugs. They are responsible for the global drug trade. A lot of it, that's how they make money. There is it's part of the war, by the way. Just like the British, they drugged, in the opium wars, they drugged China. Now China feels obligated to return a favor, doing the same things to the United States. A lot of those drug operations go through and are in integration with groups like Hezbollah. This is a global fight in so many senses, and that's just one aspect of it, just one of them, really. So, looking at Western leaders like Macron, like those who come and support, or try to defend those, it feels like they're trying to be honest. To me, it raises an alarm. It's like, okay, maybe they're themselves, a lot of them might be involved in sketchy businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's part of it, but yeah.
Yeah. It is a a giant mess. It is a bunch of organizations that are criminal and that rely on criminality and that don't have much support from their own civilian population, but that want to wage war against others in order to, because that's how they solidify themselves. They solidify their stances by conflict and by fighting, by death and destruction. That's what they rely on.
I mean, they do and they don't, because it's easy money. And having Hezbollah as a terror organization, if you I like being as part of the, I don't know, like a cartel. Like, this is the best cartel you can be a part of, because you have Macron defending you, as a head of state defending you. And there is no difference between you and the cartel. I mean, obviously the cartels are also being defended by head of states. Mm-hmm. Like we could have seen, when in El Salvador, I think it was, when the president was putting everyone in jail, the way, the squad or whatever they're called, like Ilan Omar, how they jumped, calling against it,
Mm-hmm.
calling against those measures. It's the same, those are cartels and terrorists, those are all they're all connected.
By the way, I want to give a few updates here. So while Iran's attack, which according to the Israeli military consisted of 180 ballistic missiles, so Israeli military said roughly 180 missiles were fired toward Israeli territory from Iran after the attack began at roughly 7:30 p.m. local time. I will get to the casualties of that in a second, but while that was happening, simultaneously there were terrorist attacks. There was a mass shooting, and 6 people killed and 9 injured in a shooting attack in Jaffa, Israel.
Yeah, actually, when it all started, I locked all the doors and put the safe, because I thought, okay, maybe some terrorists would take advantage of what's going on, and obviously not. Instead of running to safe rooms, they're gonna run around with guns, taking advantage of it. Israel was prepared for that scenario as well. It's not like I was. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, just to be safe.
Yeah, here is what the IDF published. Wait, let me see. I don't have my sound. Raw footage. Watch as Iranian missiles rain over the old city in Jerusalem, a holy site for Muslims, Christians, and Jews. This is the target of the Iranian regime. Everyone. There was. I think there is some graphic footage which I want to make sure not to show on, not to show on here, but the one reported incident, the one reported casualty is from West Bank, Judea and Samaria, Jericho, where a Palestinian Arab guy who is originally from Gaza and who apparently went over to the West Bank and was living there and I don't know, looking for a different life somewhere else, was hit by shrapnel from a ballistic missile and died immediately. And in the middle of that, you have celebrations.
Yeah, that's what a death cult looks like.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Now you have Gazans here celebrating the fact that missiles are fired at Israel from Iran. But while they're celebrating, of course, all of these bunch of innocent civilians who are just caught in the middle of a war. We have also been experiencing a genocide, of course, totally, are celebrating here. And while they are celebrating, the missiles they are celebrating for hit and kill other Palestinian Arabs in the West Bank. Now, there is just such irony in this.
What's the irony here? They're proud to be dead. Like they...
Yeah.
I mean, that's how the Middle East operates. Like, also, you know this joke? It's about... I heard it from Jordan Peterson, but I want to repeat it because that's basically how the Middle East works, but way, way worse. Because he made this joke about, like, hell. And, like, okay, so you have a person visiting hell, and then you see one pit with Satans, like, with their sticks, pushing people down to the pit for them to burn. And then they go to, like, another one. It's like the same thing. And it was like, and then they go to another one, and there are no Satans around the hole. And the visitor is asking, "Hey, what's up?" "Oh, those what we just watched. Those were the French, the British. Now we're looking at the Russians. We don't need no Satans. They just push each other down. They make sure that nobody escapes." And when it comes to the Middle East, it's not only that they are pulling each other down, it's also that they are setting themselves on fire. It's like you don't even need to bring the coal in. Yeah, you just need to, like, they are the ones that are igniting it.
That's what they do.
That they're in.
So apparently people who came over from someplace, one of the two territories, started attacking people in Tel Aviv, Jaffa. This is really what they went for. It's so insane to me. Absolutely insane.
Why?
That this is
why is it insane to you?
This is what they resort to. Well, this is what they resort to. It's like you have access to Israel, right? You get into Israel, you get your weapons, you want to supposedly target the evil Zionist Jews, and what you do is to go to Jaffa and start shooting people there in a very well-known place where you have lots of Arabs, and instead of going to some military presence and fighting there, or going to a Jewish neighborhood and attacking that, it's like they don't even know what they're doing. These people are completely retarded, or they are simply
I think they do, because Jaffa is a symbolic place for them.
Yeah, or because they want to start in such a place, and they don't even care about who is dying, as long as somebody is dying. And
First of all Israeli Arabs are by definition traitors. Unless they are actively dying, they're traitors. And even then, like, they lived most of their lives as traitors, and maybe by dying they can compensate, but only actively dying, it's like as while holding a gun and shooting randomly, or suicide bombers. That's the only way you can go. So if you are in any other state, you are by default a traitor. So it doesn't matter that those are Arabs or Muslims. And the other thing is that Jaffa has, like, a symbolic meaning for them. Like, they are like, we want Jaffa, like, this is something that they crave for. This is also shows, like, Jaffa is, like, being part of Tel Aviv is rich. It's also, like, shows the way they think is built on resentment and envy and jealousy. So Jaffa is symbolic. I think part of it is just they chose it because it's symbolic for them.
That's true. That is true. Here you have the terrorists, two of them at least, going in and shooting people, walking outside and shooting people. This is what they resort to. So 2 terrorists went out there, started shooting people, killed at least 6. Not sure what the latest numbers are, and injured more others, 9 or so. And then they were both apprehended by Israeli security forces, killed, I believe. Not sure exactly what the details on that are. That is the current update on that. Hamas released a statement in the wake of Iran's missile attack on Israel on Tuesday, congratulating Iranian leadership for its honorable missile launches and strong message to the enemy. We express our pride in our brothers in the Islamic Republic of Iran and our appreciation for their stand in the face of unbridled Zionist arrogance. Fuck you. Seriously? Sorry. I know I'm much more angry about this than most Israelis even are.
Because for us it's like the final countdown, you know. It's like time. It's like you get ready for it. I got ready for it. I like, you know, we marked targets. We did so much work. And it's like it's like, let's see, it's all going like unfolding, you know. Imagine the people that work on the pagers, for example, have worked on it for years. Like, you know, they had those companies and they had to build a reputation. So even if they sold the pagers 2 months ago, let's say, like they built a reputation years, took them years, and then to have those pagers like and engineer them in a way where they can pass airport security without getting detected, where they will not get detected by dogs, whatever is needed. Like there's nothing that couldn't detect that's explosive that were added there. Like that's a lot of work. So imagine like a lot of Israelis like worked on things like that, and now it's like the final countdown is like everything like. It's like like a flower blooming, you know, like it was in Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is now Israelis are like feeling optimistic, like because on October 7th it was humiliating. I mean, it was because we were caught off guard. It was like we were stuck in our own hubris, like we couldn't stop arguing with each other to the point where we couldn't do anything. So that was like this feeling, you know. And then now it's like, but we knew it was but we always knew it was a matter of time. My initial reaction on October 7th was thank goodness. Genuinely, my genuine first reaction was thank goodness. I felt so lucky that it happened the way it did, because of the you know, being familiar with the Middle East and things the way they work, I knew it could have been 10 times, 100 times worse. It could have been devastating to a point of not having a country anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So when October 7th happened, it was a shock. It was awful. It was terrible. But it was at a point where it was like, thank goodness. Like really, like it was at a point where it was not too late and it was not too bad. Like it was awful, but not too bad.
Ali Daka says everybody is crying here. Ali Daka, do you see anybody crying here? Do you see Rebecca, who is in Israel right now, and who has been hearing the missile interceptions and so on, crying? Is this really what you guys understand? I mean, you are. I don't know what origin you are from. I don't know what background you're from. People are not crying. The one thing that people are doing is saying, see, this is what we're dealing with. And number two, we are not afraid. I asked many Israelis. I went over to Tal. I asked Rebecca. I messaged several other Israelis. And almost everyone that I messaged, their reaction to this, to me asking them is, first off, they laugh it off. They joke about it. And then secondly, they say, oh, we are not afraid. Everything is fine. We are not afraid. Everything is okay. Nothing's going to come from this. This is how they feel. In the meantime, those people that you are probably supporting, those Islamist terrorist organizations and Islamic societies, they are literally crying every day, all day. They get hit by one missile and they start calling it genocide and asking the United Nations, like, can you please help us? Please help us, please, please, please. And then you fire some missiles and you don't hit anything. You don't hit anybody. And then you're proud of it. You people are collectively stupid. You people are collectively in a different timeline, in a different age, in a different time. You are underdeveloped. You are dumb. You are retarded. You are very, very much underdeveloped. And you really need to start catching up with the rest of humankind, with the rest of humanity, because as it seems right now, as you're going, You guys only want to fight and never coexist. And you guys, because of your will to fight and kill, all you do is die and then complain. Die and complain. Die and complain. Meanwhile, Israel doesn't. You know why in Israel there are no casualties? Not because not because the other side is not cruel, not because the other side cannot hit. It's because Israel actually cares about life. Life, something you have probably never heard of, life, which is why in Israel, as soon as information comes in of projectiles coming into the direction of Israel, all citizens, everyone inside Israel is immediately alerted and immediately told to seek shelter at the nearest shelter or the nearest safe room, which are set up everywhere in Israel. And you know why they are set up everywhere in Israel? Because in Israel, the Israeli state, Israeli people actually care about preserving the lives of their own people. Maybe you should start doing that too, instead of only caring about fighting and killing. When you attack Gaza, everyone easily dies, even if you don't even try, because nobody cares about life. All you care about is death and destruction and sickness and evil. Same thing would happen if Iran was under attack, for example. You people are part of a major death cult. You are part of a major death cult where you don't care about life, but you attack those who do care about life. Then you die, and then you start crying and begging. And every single time you think, Allahu Akbar, Allah will help us next time. Allah will one day help us. Allah is not helping you. Okay, Allah is not helping you. If there was Allah, he would not be on your side because you people are stupid. If there is Allah, all he is doing right now is helping the Jews, probably, as it seems, because even Allah is aware of how dumb you people are. Anyway, yeah. So, Rebecca, what is this guy saying? What is Hagari saying? I want to
We're
trust
asking not to give information to the enemy
in this one. Oh, okay.
because we suck at bomb.
Okay.
We suck at bitachon midat, information security. Israelis are like,
We
oh,
also
look at
want to
that
give information to the enemy.
missile that hit my backyard, which is exactly 200 meters away from a major important location that can explode from like 200 meters away on north of a super important location that might explode, and I have this missile in my backyard. You know, this kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff is like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to adjust this amount of millimeters to get to the right location.
Well, they have been doing a very good job at information security. The same thing when the minor incursion into Lebanese territory started yesterday. Nobody knew what's going on because the military kept it very, very secret.
I mean,
And
the military was there for months already, but
Yeah.
just a small amount, like small special units.
So, military has imposed a new closed military zone on the Lebanon border in the areas of communities of Dovev, Tzivon, and Malkia. The military says the move follows a fresh assessment. It comes amidst ground operations inside Lebanon. So there is a closed military area, which means there is no civilian movement allowed in here, and is going to serve only for military purposes at the current time. Israeli raid targeted the city of Bint Jbeil in 2 waves, and so on. Stuff is really, really popping right now. I just want everyone to remember one thing, which is that the only reason there is this war going on, the only reason there is a fight going on here is that one side wants to be at peace and wants to coexist, and the other side insists on never coexisting. And that side that insists on never coexisting is not the Israeli Jewish side. It is the Islamic or Arab side. Iranian TV, Revolutionary
It's also important to understand the other side doesn't have a choice, in a sense, because they don't know how to do anything. And like unless they're fighting this holy war, they literally don't know how to do anything. They can do drugs, they can sell drugs, but if you take that away from them, then they're not productive. They don't know not know how to do anything that's really productive. Like they're all gonna be jobless, basically. Like they're getting easy money from being like making money out of mostly drug sales. Like that's what their main income comes from, all over the world. Like and then like having terrorist cells all over the world, and then you have this. They have this support because they have this ideological fight behind it. So you get a lot of idiots on their you take a little bit from everyone because this is a holy war. You take away your nephew's house because you're part of the holy war and he isn't, and then you have to show for it, because you took away people. They take away people, like you saw. I don't know if you saw, but like Shiites have been taken, like now, like kicking out Christians in Lebanon from their houses. Like this is how they operate. So they do it to each other as well. They do it to each other, and then they say, "I am part of the holy war, and you're not. So give me your house." And they do it like to family members, each other. And then they don't know how to do anything else. They don't know how. This is how they make their living. And once they stop, there is a whole line of nephews and nieces and kind of family members and foreigners that are just waiting to get them. Like a lot of these people, when they die, the first ones to rejoice, I don't know if people are aware of it, is their own family members, especially when it's they have the uncle title.
Yeah. It's so funny. I see reports from like Al Jazeera, for example, says that they asked citizens inside Lebanon who said that Israel is lying and that there are no Hezbollah weapons stored in homes in the southern regions. We have videos, man. We have videos of them storing missiles inside their homes. We have video footage of missiles going off once Israel targets the homes. We have photos taken by spies, taken by insiders, taken from garages and from inside buildings, showing a ballistic missile and other things set up inside homes. We have all of this stuff, and this is why Al Jazeera is a propaganda channel that spreads lies for these Islamist organizations, and then they cry when they are shut down in Israel, right?
And just imagine those people. Okay, this is how they make a living. So they have a house and they put missiles in there, and they get paid for it. So they rent the place to get missiles in it, and for this extra risk, they get money.
It's good money.
So yeah, it's good money. Okay, so now you take away their livelihood. What are they gonna do?
Cry.
Like, what are these people gonna do? Do they know how to work the ground? Absolutely nothing. Like, they're gonna be like, do they have enough? Are they self-sufficient when it comes to food? Anything like those are boring questions. When you would conduct yourself properly, those are boring questions you're supposed to know how to answer.
There really is a thing. Look, in religious Islamic circles, religious Islamic societies, there is no sense of building and establishing and living for, in the long term, making long-term plans, living for the future. There was something very interesting that I learned when I was reading some rabbinic teachings a while ago, which was that this little phrase. I don't know who said it. One of the rabbis said it. You might know it. It might even be one from the Talmud. But if somebody comes to you and tells you the Messiah has arrived, and you are working or you're planting or sowing something, you should first finish your work and then go. There
is another similar one. Why does a person do not know when his time will come? Because if he knows when their time will come, they're gonna stop the work they're doing now. And if their time doesn't come, then they're gonna enjoy the fruit of their work, of their labor. And if their time does come, then the environment is gonna enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Very nice.
And this is why a person doesn't know when their time.
In religious Islamic circles, you usually have they have a completely different attitude. The attitude that they have is, brothers, the time is near, the time is drawing near. things are going to go bad, we will fight. So forget about worldly things, forget about working, forget
Yeah.
about preparing, forget about this and this and that. Let's focus on making sure that we have the means to fight, so we fight the enemy and all that. Iran is an apocalyptic death cult. They are what they think is that, or what they teach at least, is that in the very near future, the Mahdi, the great savior, will come and he will set things straight, and Iran is supposed to be the leader in fighting and setting up true Islam in the world by fighting and so on. So this is what they focus on in religious Muslims, Sunni Muslim circles. What they have is a similar story, that the signs are already there, and anytime the end might come, and in the end it won't matter what you produce. What matters is how you fight. So they focus on fighting.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
This is.
It's a sick
Do
culture.
you know what's the Olam Haba is in Judaism? Like the next world, the world that's like it's supposed to be heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it is?
No,
Like,
tell me.
so in the end of times, according to Judaism, the end of times come when the humanity will manage to make the earth so good that God would come and live with us.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then everybody who were righteous will rise up and get to enjoy this peaceful world. Like the idea is like world peace that would
Mhm.
come. This is when it's like, okay, you guys did a good job making this place prosperous and like maintaining it and flourishing and building, and God is gonna come and reside with us.
Oh, this is why you also have the concept of what's that, Tikkun Olam, heal the world.
Tikkun Olam is a very, very wokester kind of Judaism. So Jews say, when you say, it's like, it is true. It is true. I'll tell you why it bothers. Let's say more Orthodox Jews. It's mostly used by Reform Jews. So Tikkun Olam, it's like the Malchut Shaddai, it's like what's gonna come. It's the Olam Haba kind of thing. The thing is that when you say Tikkun Olam, it sounds like you are supposed to fix the world. Well, like more mainstream Judaism believes that you need to work on yourself and your environment, and with that, it's gonna bring the fixing of the world. And it's just too pretentious to, like, it's like it sounds woke. It's like when you go, like inside of circles, right? It's a good concept, but it's being misused by wokesters, right?
Yeah, but it does go back traditionally to the Mishnah, doesn't it? It's like it is tradition.
It is, but it's like out of yes, but it's a bit out of context because it's a bit too grandiose to be the way that Jews.
Yeah.
Like it's like, okay, you are a megalomaniac. Like you use that, you're a megalomaniac. That's what I basically have to say, personally. Like that's how I would summarize it.
Let's see first of some updates. Barak Ravid from Axios says White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said there will be serious consequences for Iran as a result of this attack, and we will work with Israel to make sure that happens. I have, like many others, I have kind of lost faith in American responses to things during the Biden administration, during the Biden government. But sure, good. I'm happy for this message. Earlier during the attacks, Iran issued a warning to all of Israel's allies and said that nobody shall step in or you will experience grave consequences or something like that. And my initial thought was that the Western nations have become so soft that they will probably just be like, okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, the reports I saw saying that America is actively trying to make sure that they had negotiated with Iran, like the scope of the attack, so they would be able to force Israel not to retaliate.
Yeah.
Which Israel would answer with.
This guy here, Justin Wooten, thinks the whole world is all about America and says AP losing faith that white people will keep paying Israeli welfare. Justin, Israelis pay higher taxes than you pay in America.
Yes,
and they finance everything from their own pocket.
But those, I'm actually making a video about it because a lot of people don't understand how America works. Like people do not understand what makes America America. America, if it doesn't do that, if it doesn't stand up and defend Israel, it stops being America. It's not going to be the country you know. It's going to be a completely different country, and it's going to get invaded by others.
Inshallah.
It's just, I'm making a video. I don't want to spoil it for people, but like people do not fundamentally do not understand what makes America America. Like if people do not agree, if the world doesn't agree to use your dollar is not going to, like, you cannot have the depth that you're having unless you're doing your part of the deal, right? Like the world has agreed to play with dollars. That's one aspect of it, because America had agreed to keep the freedom and democratic world safe, in a sense. Okay, so if it doesn't do that, then nobody's going to play with you.
Yes.
Nobody's going to play with you. Everything's going to get super expensive. But the thing is, because of American geography, the way that you are located on Earth, if you have a strong enough forces to protect your own borders, you're already a threat. There is a reason China is here. You think America, if China has interest here, do you think America doesn't? Do you think there is no reason for China to be so involved in everything here? There is a reason for China to do that. And China does not care about anything and anyone. And still they act the same way America is supposed to, right? With their own allies. Like they do stuff that seem like why would Russia, China, why would they risk their neck for Iran or for all kind of to a degree, because they're not America yet, but they want to be. There is a reason for that. There is a real life reason for that.
Let's quickly look at this thing here. So here you see what is reported to be one of the ballistic missiles sent over by Iran, landing directly by the side of the road in Tel Aviv. And this is not a military target, as you can obviously see. There is no military target here. That's what it's reported to be. Still need more confirmation on that. By OSINT Defender, usually accurate. Iran says that they fired their ballistic missiles at military targets. What kind of a military target is this? I'm really curious. What kind of military target is this precisely? Maybe because of the Jewish mind control, they changed the direction of the missile with their minds so that it lands in a civilian area. Maybe that's what happened. Of course, Iran would never lie. Iran would never ever.
I saw somebody saying, doing live, saying that Netanyahu fled the country. Where does people get those news from?
This is why
I was curious, because I was trying to understand. It was oh, obviously, and it's supposed to be on the good side, one of us, right? As American though, but I was where did you get that? I couldn't see it anywhere. I mean, he's in Jerusalem, but still, where did you get that?
Iran, Netanyahu fled the country to Jerusalem. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, that would make sense if you think about it that way. Yeah.
It's so funny. Look at this. Here's Press TV. This is Iranian national TV, Iranian propaganda TV, and here is their headline. This is supposed to be humiliating. Netanyahu and ministers go into hiding as Iranian missiles pound occupied territories. Look,
right.
If you read this from an Iranian perspective or an Islamist or anti-Zionist perspective, this is ha ha ha, look, they're going to hiding, This is how they feel, because to them this is supposed to be something humiliating, something bad. And then they ask, and then they wonder why their side dies all the time while Israelis don't die. From the Israeli perspective, this is entirely normal. They don't go into hiding because they're scared. They go into shelters and safe rooms when attacks happen because they care about their lives, because they care about lives in general, right? But this is the difference here. In Iran, this headline here is considered humiliating because they don't care about life. They care more about pride, about killing your enemy and destroying them, humiliating them. It would be literally, they would probably force the Ayatollah Khamenei to stand there outside if they knew that a bomb is headed directly at him. They would probably urge him to stand there and not want him to hide and take shelter, because to them, hiding is humiliation. Like,
No, it's actually what you just said. It's actually this is like, no, it's actually them poking back at us, because this is how we make fun of them, because every time they get their leaders in hiding, but it's not during an active missile, indiscriminate missile attack. It's just on the daily basis, right? On the day to day, they're like they after Nasrallah was hit, and like the first thing, like they hid away Khamenei, so he won't get the same fate. No, this, and then Israelis make fun of them. So this is like this is a poking. Like, if you're an Israeli, you would understand. Like, they try to do the same thing to us as because we are the ones who make fun of them.
But they do it
like that.
when they actually indiscriminately fire rockets.
Exactly, yeah. That's them. That's the difference. But they want to have the same title, because this is how we talk about them. So this is just a fake mirroring.
That's funny. Revolutionary Guard.
This is why you need to have a Middle Eastern person. You need to know our inside dynamics.
Yes, yes, we do. Thank you for being here and for doing this, Rebecca. By the way, some people asked earlier, but is it true that you married Isaac when you were 3 years old?
When I'll be 3 years old, I'll marry her.
Okay, good. We always jokingly refer to you as Rebecca, who was 3 years old, right? Because
I know, because of bad math. It's like it's a joke in the yeshivas as well, because it's like it's so.
Pentagon says no U.S. personnel injured or harmed during the Iranian missile attack in Israel. U.S. Navy destroyers fired approximately a dozen interceptors in close coordination with Israeli forces. Yeah, we had reports earlier that American destroyers helped intercept missiles that were headed for Israel. So U.S. destroyers in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea took down multiple missiles launched by Iran at Israel on Tuesday night, U.S. defense officials said. At the moment, those there include USS Arleigh Burke, USS Cole, and USS Bulkley. Additional destroyers are in the Red Sea area. Jordanian armed forces said that they are on high alert to intercept and stop anything that violates their sovereignty and their airspace and so on. Still, Iran is on their own. What's very funny to me is that Russia stepped in, and Putin said that he urges Israel to leave Lebanon and to not do any ground invasions in Lebanon.
Yeah, but that's because they have a very sensitive situation in Syria. So I think it was said that Netanyahu is going to call him. They're probably going to try to Israel's going to try to cooperate with Russia, making sure that everybody's, because now a lot of the Hezbollah is running into Syria, and Russia has points of interest inside of Syria, and there is a great instability inside of Syria right now, so they're afraid because of that. So Israel going to south of Lebanon is going to accelerate it. So it's going to be like you will manage to it. I think that it's been said that Netanyahu is going to actually try to talk to Putin about it. Otherwise, it's going to put Russia at risk, and this is why they're making those sounds, as well as they're being pressured to show that they're not fake allies. It's not.
But the funny thing is, it just sounds very funny right now after these years when Putin tells somebody that they should not invade a different country. So that's just, it's a very big irony here.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with that. It has.
I know. It just sounds funny. That's what I'm saying.
It just that Russian sounds. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you in the West, this is how people read things. It's like it's normal, right? Your reaction is normal. But this is how Westerners read news.
I don't read.
And I was like, and all I can do is and you're not even Western. You're from you're smarter than the average Western.
I'm Israeli.
No offense, but no offense to Westerners. It's just a different kind of understanding of
This is very racist.
Like
and
your
universal.
thing is like it's Russia cares about Lebanon. No, Russia cares because now a lot of Hezbollah is running into Syria where they have their own assets and interests, and that puts them at risk. Like
Yeah.
that's a much easier, like understandable explanation. You know.
I'm
Okay,
not
let's-
able to get into it any more than what we said publicly already.
In that period between informing the world and the Israelis that of this information, was there any effort to, other than the public statements, to reach out to the Iranians to say, don't do this?
So I will answer that by saying we have made clear for some time that we have the ability to send messages to Iran when it is in our interest to do so. And without speaking to any messages in particular, we have made clear the position of the United States that Iran should not launch this attack, that it would be a mistake for Iran to launch this attack. And I think I'll leave it at that.
And
Oh, that's so smart.
Oh my God, what a pathetic chicken.
Wow, that's so smart. So it's just I'm always amazed by the American political ability to say nothing while when
Like,
giving.
is there like just like between like is there like shortage in Viagra in the US or
Yes,
something?
yes,
Like
there
what's okay?
There is. There
Is that what happening? Is like
Yeah.
people are not getting what they need?
Actually, they could. There are quite some supplies here.
There are.
Iran,
Okay.
Israel, Lebanon says we had no warning from Iran's government. Okay, Israel has the right to defend itself, but we will coordinate with them on what any response looks like. I'm pretty sure that Israel has made clear in the last week that they don't really want to depend on the U.S. when taking action, including in Lebanon, for example. 2 U.S. Navy destroyers fired about a dozen interceptors. No other U.S. military assets were used to shoot down missiles. Iran's attack was about twice the scope of Tehran's attack on Israel on April 14th, and still did not do anything at all. That's funny. Iran's president says Tehran issued strong response to Israel. Yep, that was a very, very strong response. Very, very strong response. Very, very huge, strong response here. We're terrified. Everybody's terrified. U.S. has not triggered evacuations for Americans in Lebanon, Sullivan says. That's funny. Israel gives all clear. There are no current issues. So apparently this was just, again, another retaliation strike. As Iran said, this whole attack today of around 180 ballistic missiles fired at Israel was meant to be in retaliation for the killing of Nasrallah, of Hassan Nasrallah, the little chubby terrorist who just died with his cutie beard, chubby little baby face terrorist with the cute beard. They were like, oh, he was a cute man. You shouldn't have killed him. Now here we will fire 180 missiles at you and not do anything with it. So that was the whole purpose of today's strike. It was already said by Israel during the attack that they do not anticipate a large-scale attack, only only a short missile barrage, and that is exactly what happened. I don't think that anything more is going to happen, but Israel promised that they are going to respond to this. Israel said that they are going to hold Iran responsible for this. So we're going to see what's going to happen. What do you think, Rebecca? What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to nuke Iran?
I hope they're gonna say something similar. What?
Nothing. Continue.
That we're gonna say something similar, but like just bring down the regime. I think the Netanyahu speech.
That was yeah.
Was a promise. There was a promise there, and if it's gonna be anything less, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
I want to actually have a look at that because
I'll go back to the army and fix it myself.
This is funny. I made this stupid meme and it went viral. Where's that video? Netanyahu's video is very significant because he said something very important in there, as you just mentioned. So this is, first off, an amazing speech, But secondly, there seems to be a very clear warning in this message of soon we are going to come for you and your time is soon going to be over. Because he said somewhere here that the time might be coming sooner than you think, that this regime is gone and the Iranian people are free. Let's listen to this.
I speak a lot about the leaders of Iran. Yet at this pivotal moment, I want to address you, the people of Iran. I want to do so directly, without filters, without middlemen. Every day, you see a regime that subjugates you make fiery speeches about defending Lebanon, defending Gaza. Yet every day, that regime plunges our region deeper into darkness and deeper into war. Every day, their puppets are eliminated. Ask Mohammed Deif. Ask Nasrallah. There is nowhere in the Middle East Israel cannot reach. There's nowhere we will not go to protect our people and protect our country. With every passing moment, the regime is bringing you, the noble Persian people, closer to the abyss. The vast majority of Iranians know their regime doesn't care a whit about them. If it did care, if it cared about you, it would stop wasting billions of dollars on futile wars across the Middle East. It would start improving your lives. Imagine if all the vast money the regime wasted on nuclear weapons and foreign wars were invested in your children's education and improving your health care, in building your nation's infrastructure, water, sewage, all the other things that you need. Imagine that. But you know one simple thing. Iran's tyrants don't care about your future, but you do. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think.
Did you hear that? Let's hear that again.
But you do. When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think.
He didn't even say might come sooner. He said will come sooner.
Yeah.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again.
When Iran is finally free, and that moment will come a lot sooner than people think.
Oh man. What do you think this means, Rebecca? Without revealing all the secrets of Israel to the world, what do you think this means?
I think it means they're planning something. That's what I think it means.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, I wouldn't know. The difficult part is like the substitution, right? As well.
Yeah.
And but you know that's a call for the Persians to be ready. Like there is some trust there. I don't know if, like, for example, like you cannot trust the Gazans. The Lebanese maybe, but not really. And then the Persians, like Israel, like the feeling in Israel that Israelis are, it's like what we say, like we tofsimem, like we feel like we want to trust them to be able to rebuild themselves.
Sorry, I laughed. I'm sorry that I laughed.
Why?
I shouldn't have laughed.
What's funny though?
Nothing. You can totally trust him. Totally trust him. Totally.
The Persians?
No. Oh, you were talking about them? Okay.
Who did you think I was talking about?
I thought you said Gazans. I don't know.
Oh, no. I said Gazans. You like they're like toddlers. The Lebanese are like children, and we kind of hope that the Persians are adults. Like that's the assumption that like we're building on.
Look at this. This is so funny. Justin Wooten here says, I'm beginning to think, Justin, that you're a troll at this point and just want to rage bait, but posts scripture here from Jeremiah 3:6. Have you seen what she did, the faithless one, Israel, how she went up on every high hill and under every green tree and prostituted herself there? This is very funny because this is just whether you are actually seriously doing this or whether you are just a troll rage baiting. This is a typical example of being unable to read scripture, unable to read the very scripture
Why
that
he's
you
talking about the relationship we have with the United States, maybe? I don't know.
you're unable to understand the scripture that you proclaim to follow, because the very same passage just a few verses later says that that the Lord then says, faithless Israel is more righteous than unfaithful Judah. What does that mean? What in the world does that mean? Go proclaim this message toward the north. Return, faithless Israel, declares the Lord. I will frown on you no longer, for I am faithful. So the Lord has faith in Israel. Huh. Interesting. What does that mean? What does that mean? Well, we could, of course, analyze what
But
exactly
how
this
do-
means. Obviously, you don't understand the scripture that you're trying to quote. All you're trying to do is just quote things from scripture because you think, oh, look at this little part here. It says something bad about Jews or something bad about Israel. Therefore, I will quote this. When this very scripture is written by prophets who are basically like, I don't know, let's say in today's sense, a philosopher comes and issues critique against their very own people for things that they do wrong, or praises
It's
for
about
things
the
they do right,
nation.
and so
It
on.
talks about Israel as a whole. It talks about
Yes,
Israel
yes,
giving up its values so that
Yes.
it would get favors from
Yes.
other nations.
yes. This is what it's taught. It is a person
This
inside
is
Israel
not, yeah.
issuing self-criticism toward their own people and wishing betterment. This is what is happening here. You could in no way, if you read this scripture, understand that this is saying that Jews or that Israel are bad, but you don't know because you're dumb.
No,
Justin.
it says like doing what America wants us to do is bad. This is what he's calling for. He's saying be independent and do what's right. Like if you know how to read this passage in the context we were speaking, that means Israel, do your thing. That's what it
Yeah.
says.
Yes, you
And
see?
don't give yourself, like don't let others violate you because the Americans think it's uncomfortable to have you respond to the Iranian regime.
If there is one thing that has been shown to be true over this last 1 year, is that Israel can't rely on the rest of the world to just defend them. Israel has to go its own way and has to defend itself in whatever way Israel thinks is best when Israel is under attack. Of course, alliances are good, but nobody cares more about Israel and Israelis than Israelis themselves. They would watch Israel die and get torn into pieces and then feel sad about it and make movies about it. Israel needs to be responsible for their own defense in the best way possible and shouldn't be listening to those nations that can't even defend their own cultures.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And also, I'm gonna do something. I know I made fun of this term a moment ago, but let me do it in a tikkun olam way. Substitute Israel with any country and any group that still holds, that is still true, and you should still listen to that advice.
Exactly.
And that's tikkun olam.
Exactly. Healing the world. Let's finish this thing here quickly while people are praising you for being a very well-spoken 3-year-old.
Everything will be different. Our two ancient peoples, the Jewish people and the Persian people, will finally be at peace. Our two countries, Israel and Iran, will be at peace. When that day comes, the terror network that the regime built in 5 continents will be bankrupt, dismantled. Iran will thrive as never before. Global investment, massive tourism, brilliant technological innovation based on the tremendous talents that exist inside Iran. Doesn't that sound better than endless poverty, repression, and war? From Qom to Isfahan, from Shiraz to Tabriz, there are tens of millions of good and decent people with thousands of years of history behind them and a brilliant future ahead of them. Don't let a small group of fanatic theocrats crush your hopes and your dreams. You deserve better. Your children deserve better. The entire world deserves better. I know you don't support the rapists and murderers of Hamas and Hezbollah, but your leaders do. You deserve more. The people of Iran should know Israel stands with you. May we together know a future of prosperity and peace.
There is I want to give some context to something that he says here. He repeatedly points out that the Islamic regime does not care about the own population, does not care about its people. They care about other things like war and
I
fighting
speak a lot
and all that. He is right on that. However, it needs to be understood why that is the case. It's not because the Iranian Islamic regime is totally careless and has no values. No, to them, it is meant to be that way. To them, they are not meant to put the Iranian people first, especially not those Iranian people who believe in, I don't know, freedom and equality and this and that. The Iranian Islamic regime has an ideology. It is an ideology that is established on setting up a pure Islamic Shia society and prepare it for the end times and prepare it for the coming of the Mahdi, which is an insane system in Shia 12, I believe. So the idea is that this Mahdi, this great savior of the Shia Muslims, already came and appeared like 1,000 years ago, but then he went into occultation, into hiding, into spiritual hiding, and he will come back as soon as they are ready. This is, of course, an idea that is kind of in certain ways taken and stolen from the whole messianic idea. But so their idea, their state
No,
ideology.
it's their idea.
What?
The Messiah, it's their idea. It's a Persian concept to begin with. Like
Well,
theirs.
don't
They
offend
don't
people
didn't
with that.
steal it.
Don't start controversy with that now. So uh so
Oops,
so
sorry.
so they are meant to set up a morally pure system where they then will prepare society for the coming of the Mahdi, and he will then come and then they will fight. This is their idea. With this ideology, they are not supposed to care about their population and what the population wants. They're not supposed to care about the well-being of a secular society. They're not supposed to care about any of this. They are doing exactly what their ideology demands of them. So this is what they believe in. And the problem is that the Iranian people mostly don't believe in this. Most of them don't even vote, don't even participate in voting anymore because they don't see the point. And they need to stand up at some point and finish this tyrannical regime. And I hope that's very, very soon. Now continue, Rebecca. Now you can speak, Rebecca.
I can
sorry.
speak. I don't know. I said I was told not to bring up controversial points. I choose silence.
I silenced you. There's no free speech here. State Department says it's absolutely false that the U.S. received advance warning. Pentagon, Iran's missile attack on Israel tonight was about twice the size of the April missile attack, according to initial assessments. Oh, really? Spoke after the Iranian attack. Pentagon, this was the second phone call between them today. State Department is not aware of any casualties of U.S. citizens. Okay, so the latest numbers on casualties is apparently still, as we know, let's see, that so about 180 missiles were fired, and all that happened was that one person is confirmed dead as a result of the attack, and that person died in the West Bank in near Jericho and was a Palestinian Arab person from Gaza. Fantastic job. Very well done, Iran. Very, very well done. That Palestinian Arab who was just killed by your ballistic missiles has definitely learned the lesson and will no longer oppress the Gazans. And Palestine will be free soon.
Right.
This is so ridiculous, man. So dumb. Anyway, let's take some super chats.
It reminds me, did you watch my video about what is the history of Palestine?
Did I? I
It's
don't know.
4 minutes.
I will watch it if it's 4 minutes. I will watch it later, inshallah.
Because like there I explain exactly what Palestine stands for and what does it mean to free Palestine.
I will check it out. Michael said you're done. You're finished, boy. Look at me.
You're finished already. Look at me. Look at me. You know you're done.
Thank you. Investory said, Rebecca, shout out your Patreon and Discord. Salute.
Yes,
Nice.
thank you. Shout out to my Patreon and Discord.
But you have a
Salute.
Discord server? I don't even have that.
Yeah, I do.
That's cool. Lori Cheto said, support friends. Thank you. Support to Israel. Go and support Israelis. Support Israeli organizations, charities, personalities, authors. Support Rebecca here. Rebecca is Israeli. Hunting Shark, thank you for covering this, AP. Hoping all across Israel is safe after this and the incident in Tel Aviv. The RIGC is the sadistic Nazis of today. Different flavor, but yes. Primus, Muslims cheering on Twitter, the same ones that will be 100% crying tomorrow after Israel obliterates Iran's power grid and military positions. This is what I said earlier. This is just what they do. This is the culture. It is in the culture, literally, to celebrate violence when they do it, and then to cry immediately when effective, efficient retaliations come back. This is why I made this meme here. I'll just leave this up here for now. Some Emil Jarek said, AP, real question, will you ever be on Piers Morgan? It will be sooner than you think.
Oh my God. Can you tell him he's an idiot to his face if you go there?
I will.
Thank
Josh
Does
said,
he know though? I think he knows, right? He knows he's stupid.
Yeah, he knows, of course.
Yeah.
Piers, you're a stupid idiot.
No, I mean, seriously.
I will tell him when I'm there. Okay.
I mean, I think he
Josh
knows,
said,
but still.
he does know. Yeah. Josh, honestly, these terrorist groups are just cowards and so full of hate for people that only want peace and their people back. And don't worry, AP, I'll share your thoughts with the FU. Thank you, AP. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I'm glad you agree with the FU. Rebecca, can Israel please take the Black Stone? They can have it back when they stop harassing Israel. They would listen then. Hey, this is a good idea. Instead of, Israel had the whole land for peace idea. Maybe they should take the Black Stone from the Kaaba and then have a stone for peace.
Just fetch.
Yeah. Fetch. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like detectives. Fetch. Go around.
Yeah.
Just throw it to outer space or something. Like, go fetch.
Here, focus on managing to get to outer space. Develop something. Yeah. That's a good
Maybe
idea.
that would make them actually productive. Yeah, that would be awesome. I was like, you can now cooperate with Elon Musk. You guys have the same goal.
Finally, now you can focus on some science, some
Yes.
advancements. Wow, that's good. Meat Pigeon, from the Allah's friend's perspective, it will end like this. Iran. Yeah, that's true. Mr. Man, dude, is this it? Is this all you can conjure? Saru Masood. I don't know what that's from.
I have no idea.
Saruman? Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Question to Rebecca. Are the safe rooms big enough for all the family and pets, and how long can you stay in there? What do you do to pass time? Do hobbies? Says Libel.
You stay here only when you're like being actively bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
Is it big enough? Yeah.
So that's good. That's good. Ornai says, in Israel, we say the people of eternity do not fear a long path. We trust God and the IDF. As far as the kids know, mommy and daddy are decided to throw a slumber party in the shelter. Stay safe. How do you say this in Hebrew? Nice. Alex S. By the way, much love and support to everyone in Israel. Stay safe. And I will probably soon come to Israel because I'm kind of jealous. I miss out on all the fun. So I want to come there and experience some of this too. Alex said Hezbollah. Yeah, that's what they do. Sheikh Mike Wingeling. Allah merely made it appear like Iran killed an Arab, but they actually killed 3 million Jews, including one made to look Ezra, who is actually Netanyahu. Yeah, I think this is true, according to Islam. Uralic tribes. I love it when Muslims call Jews Eastern European colonizers, even though Muslims colonized real Eastern Europe for centuries under Ottoman rule. That's what they did. That's what they do.
Oh, you know who Nas Daily is? Nusaya? Nas Daily?
Yeah.
Somebody wrote to him, go back to Poland.
Isn't he Palestinian Arab?
I mean, he's an Israeli Arab, but yeah.
Oh yeah, Israeli Arab. Yeah. So dumb. Noam MKW. So they only killed one Gazan guy. Yes, that's what they did. That's literally what they did.
Urinating upon one another. That's what they do.
Roy Steinberg. So you can afford having Rebecca on. Yes. It's always expensive.
That's cheap. I'm cheap, you see.
No, it's actually expensive. It's like having Jews on is very expensive.
Mm.
But we have a special agreement with Rebecca because we worked together before and all that, which is why she's like, okay, I can come on your channel several times, up to 3 times. So I'm trying to use this wisely. Yeah. Somebody's going to take this seriously now. EAN743 is at Israel. We're not stuck here with you. You're stuck with us. Susan Morales says, religiously, what are Palestinians thinking as they say Allahu Akbar watching Iran's missiles overhead? Well,
They're not thinking. You are wrong to assume that people are thinking. I think if you turn off that assumption, you'd see that things fall into place neatly. Like everything makes sense now. If you just stop assuming people think.
I should always have Rebecca here because I was going to say about the same thing. I was going to say that this is a fallacy because they are not thinking. But then Rebecca just jumped in and said it in a much better way. So,
sorry.
Yeah. But they really are not. It's not like there is no proper thought behind it. And that is the difference between a functioning society and a non-functioning society. There are no thoughts behind any of these things. All they see is, yeah, somebody attack enemy, somebody attack Jew, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Nobody has any thoughts about the aftermath, the impacts, why exactly they're celebrating. Nothing. I'm serious. Nobody has any thoughts about any of this stuff. They will simply stand there and say, yeah, Allahu Akbar, bad Jew attack, missile, go bad Jew. That's it. That's literally it. This is a stupid mindset. Subbies, the Jericho of consequences rarely arrives lubed. Sheikh Mike Wingeling, imagine being called a Turk by a toddler in front of your entire audience. How will AP ever recover from this humiliation? Ha ha ha, Akbar. This is true. Sometimes I forget that Rebecca is a toddler, 3 years old. Mr. Mandude, Israel wipes out Hezbollah's leadership virtually overnight and Iran retaliates with the most impotent attack I've ever seen. It's never been more clear who has the upper hand in this conflict. I mean, even Iran knows that they have no power, that they are pathetic, that they have no leverage, nothing at all. But they're trying to make it look like they have something, which is why they said they will only jump in if Israel directly attacks and harms Hezbollah. Israel did exactly that. They took out the entire leadership, and all Iran did in response was to do a pathetic missile barrage. That's it.
Can I bring up an unrelated point, but I wanna challenge myself by bringing that idea to you.
Yes.
So I've been thinking, right? So I made a video comparing the Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and I actually have a much more to it, like extended version, but I only released like short versions. Anyway, I wrote that the submission, like Islam, is submitting to Muhammad. Mm-hmm. And then I got some comments saying, no, it's submission to Allah, not to Muhammad. I was like, no, who are you joking? Like, it's submitting to Muhammad. And I just, randomly like was staring at the ceiling and I thought of a proof. And I didn't really check too much details if my proof is valid. So I'm going to let you do that for me. So, hey, chat GPT, Ridwan, tell me. So here's the logic I'm going through, okay? If Jesus was Muslim and Abraham was Muslim and basically David was Muslim, basically Jews are Muslim. Jews are just Muslim.
Yes.
By this definition, we're already submitting to Allah. So what is the difference between us and proper Muslim is whether we're submitting to Muhammad or not. That's the only difference. You should accept us. We're already Muslims, better Muslims than you since we invented it. And then it's like, and just let us be. We're not idol worshippers like you are. We're not into this Muhammad kind of worship thing.
That's actually pretty
good. That's it. That's how I know you are actually submitting and you are worshiping Muhammad, because otherwise we are the Muslims as is, and you don't need to bug us anymore.
That's actually pretty good.
We're part of the Ummah.
That's much better than anything I expected. I was expecting not something very good, but that is the smartest thing I've ever heard in my life. That was a big exaggeration, but this is actually very smart. This is actually pretty good.
Okay, so
What do
I'm
you
not
think,
wrong
Alice?
here, right? Like if
No,
I
you're
if
not.
I follow their logic, like that's what they claim. They claim they're Muslims, and then that means we are Muslims already.
That is
So
basically
that-
what it is, because so we had this conversation before, David and I, about the Islamic Muslims insist on, oh, Christians don't believe one God, Christians this, Christians that. Okay, so then they claim Islam is the true religion because in Islam there is one God. Okay, then what's the problem exactly with Jews? What is the problem with Jews? Why exactly are Jews wrong? Why exactly are Jews astray? There simply is nothing. There is no reason. Jews believe in one God, and they have a sense of pure monotheism, probably better than the Muslims have, because they don't elevate anybody to a level of Muhammad, who is basically like a lesser god. So your logic there is quite good, and I think you should actually make a video about this.
all right,
Make the
I'll
video.
do it.
Say this is
I'll
the
do it.
proof that Muslims worship. You know
I
what's
got a
funny?
proof.
I was recently reading the what's the Disputation of Barcelona by Nachmanides Ramban, and it's funny because he is discussing with Christians, and he's discussing with a Christian guy, and this is like, when was he alive? 800 years ago. So he's discussing with a Christian guy, and as they're discussing, they are referring to Jesus repeatedly as the Nazarene, and to Christians as just the Christians. And at some point, he compares Christians to Muslims, but to Muslims he only refers to as the worshippers of Muhammad. So it's probably not even supposed to be offensive or anything, but it's kind of funny that is how he referred to them there.
I mean, he knows.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yes. Ayatollah Khamenei, Rebecca, that neon green look is not tactical with all ballistics going on. That is true. You're going to turn yourself into a target. Libel, Rebecca is right. AP is not Western, but Ottoman. Oh, yeah. Do you know about the Ottomans, Rebecca?
Yeah, like
Yeah. So the Ottomans
or
were...
those are seals.
No, Ottomans were ancient people who were half otter, half men, and they invaded Europe and built a huge empire called the Ottoman Empire. This is what they did. This is real history, which probably nobody told you before. And
Oh my God, okay. So we're lizard people, and you are otter person.
yeah, so this is one of my ancestors here. They were so scary that whoever saw them got really scared of them, and they established the Ottoman Empire. So that's the real history for you right here. Now you know. BGC Vitan, keep on and take my jizya protection shekels AP. Thank you. I'm not going to kill you now that you have paid your jizya. Rachel S, thank you for creating the best meme ever. Thank you. It's actually, I copied it from somebody else after, I don't know. I copied it and just made it better, actually. Somebody made something like this, but had like a bunch of words on it. And I thought, that's not how you do memes. You need to make it shorter and more concise and visible. So yeah, that's all it takes. Christian Gadfly, don't tell David Wood I cheated on him by giving you money. I will tell him. I'm messaging him right now. Blackfish Blues, BB is the real leader of the free world. Alhamdulillah, I actually have to go in a minute. I have to pick up my kid. As an Iranian condemn Islamic leadership irresponsible attack. Thank Bibi for his message of hope and friendship, and tell my Israeli brethren to stay strong like they are. Long live Israel and free Iran together, inshallah, soon. Uralic tribes from the river to the sea, Israel, there shall be free. From the Iranian regime, Iranians will be free. Thank you for doing God work and exposing Islam. I was doubting my faith until I found your channel. Keep doing the Lord work. God bless you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And finally, Noam, ever heard about the fact that Al-Aqsa isn't really in Jerusalem, but in Saudi Arabia? Saudis agree too, and Mordecai Kedar speaks about it a lot. There is such a theory, which I don't think honestly holds much weight, to be very, very honest, because you also have the traditions where Muhammad supposedly prays toward the same direction that Jews pray to, and they make fun of him. So the Medinan Jews, they're like, what are you doing, man? And so because they make fun of him, eventually he changes the direction toward Mecca, and then says that Allah revealed it to him that he's supposed to pray toward Mecca. It's funny that Jews were even like the Jews were pretty funny in their role of impacting Muhammad.
I mean, we were the original Muslims, and because he couldn't get accepted to our Muslim club, he opened his own Muslim club, which is the
Yeah.
fake Muslim club.
Yeah. Anyway, I have to go. Really, I have to pick up my kid. I was completely unaware of the time. But thanks everyone for watching. Hope everything.
Yeah, and
will
I'm
be
gonna
safe.
go live as well.
Yeah, Rebecca is going
Sorry
live.
for
Rebecca
cutting you off
Barsev.
in 30 minutes.
Follow Rebecca on her channel, Rebecca Barsev, as it is right here. Go and subscribe to her and watch her channel. And also, David and I, we are going to be live tonight. If anything happens in the meantime and there is commentary needed, I will talk about it as well immediately. But yeah, until then, follow Rebecca to get some green stuff. Yeah. All right, thanks
I look
everybody.
like an acid pill.
You do. Thanks everyone. Bye bye. And stay away.
Stay away from Islam.